player, and Milos Ninkovic, not part of that Champions League squad, shows off his fresh legs to poach the opener 8 minutes in.
Well, you said it, it's gifted. Barbarouses and Lafondra on that inside right channel. Ryan Grant elects for the cross. Ninkovic coming through the middle, thought he'd missed it because he arrived late, and then Lewis Miller, I'm not sure what he's thinking, but he gets caught in two minds. Instead of just clearing that ball, he sort of just cushions it perfectly for Ninkovic, who thought the chance was obviously gone, and a flick of the outside of the boot, gets a hand to it, the keeper, but can't stop it from going in. You know, Sydney are good enough to score their own goals without gifting them.
4 goals and 4 assists now this season for the Serbian maestro. So for the second game in a row against the Mariners, they take the lead inside 10 minutes. It proved enough last time they met. A long time ago in this one, of course. The Mariners looking to hit back. When you look at the stats heading into this one, Sydney FC, the scorer of the first goal so often throughout this campaign, have done it again, and the Mariners have coughed it up again. Conceded the opening goal 12 times now this season.
See, and that's a problem. He gives it away this time, but when Barbarouses and Lafondra, they're dropping in between the lines, and the back three are just staying. So they're outnumbering them in the midfield. Sometimes by 2 plays, not just 1.
Miller, a little tentative, looking to get his own back, and he's done brilliantly. Beats a couple, does the 19-year-old, and then stumbled at the key moment, took a big divot.
Well, he's done so well. He eliminates Ninkovic and gets past King, and then he should have crossed it. He was in the perfect position. Ninkovic tries to get a toe. Joel King dives in, and that point didn't need another touch. Just got to whip that one across. They had bodies in the box as well.
A hand used there by the Mariner, and not the Sydney FC player. Stensness.
Stensness coming in late.
Would have been a close run thing if he'd kept his hand out of it.
That's better from Tongi, who follows Barbarouses into that hole. Tell you what, their ball speed's very good at the moment, Sydney FC. Zipping the ball around. Plenty of movement.
They're bouncing in the travelling cove, but here's some pressure to absorb for Sydney FC. Harold into the area, ran into a roadblock in the end. – 24 goals in his A-League career with the Perth Glory. Chris Harold. Danny De Silva with 9. McGlinchey with 22. They're the likely outlets for the hosts until that bench is utilised in the second half. Said they've already done the analysis on the loss to Yokohama midweek, and they'll save that for the return leg against Ange Postecoglou's side at Cogra later in the campaign. Focused on getting back to the football they know they're capable of here. Stensness. Right through the middle, Danny De Silva, who was part of the Sydney FC squad on loan last season. Lisby delivers on his right. Harold the target, Miller in there. And possession away only briefly.
That's good defending from Alex Wilkinson. Had to be strong there against Jordan Murray. course, it wasn't Jordan Murray because it was Chris Harold, because Jordan Murray's not out there. Thanks for that, Speedy.
He's often been leading the line, but drops to the bench today as the number 9.
Well, there's been so much rotation on that front line. Jair, Matt Simon, Harold this time.
What a clever ball that was by Bratton, but Caceres couldn't make the most of it. Clisby. Seeing more and more passes from Jack Clisby's right boot in recent weeks. One was a little aimless. Mariners have led at half-time in 4 of their past 7 meetings against Sydney FC. Takes some work to achieve that this time around after giving up the early goal. Wilkinson trying to squeeze one towards Lafondra. Strong defending by Kim. Ninkovic didn't like the treatment. Kim is suggesting that he's been caught by flailing hands from Ninkovic. VAR will check that out, but in the meantime, Barbarouses could have doubled Sydney FC's advantage. What went on here between Ninkovic and Kim?
Well, Chris Beath was going to give a free kick, but there was obviously the advantage to be played, and Barbarouses probably should have scored. If he heads it down, that's the challenge that he would have given. And what does Ninkovic do here?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. There's the first one. Kim says that's not enough, I'll go again. And they were away, Sydney FC, and what a chance it was for Barbarouses. He heads it down, he scores.
It's almost as though Kim felt a little touch on his head and thought, I might be able to get an opponent sent off here. Which not many people like to see. Ninkovic thought he was the victim of a two-footed type of challenge. That's why he reacted, but didn't go too overboard with it. Ryan Grant had a super start to this game.
He's got the coat hanger there. Jack Clisby, who's away. Very good use of his body. Ryan Grant, as he comes inside, gets his body across Clisby.
Could be some fireworks between those two over the next 75 minutes or so. Ninkovic desperate to keep this one in. He saw it was last touch off Barbarouses. Got there in time. Sydney FC, the only team ever to win 13 of their first 15 games to start an A-League campaign.
It is an extraordinary table when you look at it, isn't it? 13 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. And if you look at it, they've got 3 games, or this one included, of course, 3 games on every other team in the 6 apart from Perth. They've got 2 games on.
Quick feet from Stensness, upended by Rattray. He's one player that isn't rotated a whole lot. Gianni Stensness tends to be on that team sheet. When Stajic likes what the New Zealand under-20 international brings in midfield. Clisby will definitely be using his left boot on this occasion. Tonic has looked a threat as well in recent weeks. Scored his first Mariners goal recently. Nearly had 2 in 2. Clisby looking for him. Back post. It just didn't quite sit for Harold.
Well, you know, to make a chance out of that, it's all about the delivery. And I'll tell you what, you couldn't get a much better than that ball from Jack Clisby. Wicked ball to defend. And really, you know, the Mariners players not really attacking it. Sydney were quite comfortable. This is a terrific ball. Pace, whip. The only one was the one at the back post was Chris Harold, who arrived too late.
Wasn't too far away from another Sydney FC hand there. Got away from McGowan and his hand was raised. Spoke to Bratton a few minutes back when he was in that battle with Stensness, had his hands raised as well. Andrew Redmayne, who made his A-League debut with the Mariners as a teenager. A long time ago now, way back in 2008. It took until his 5th A-League club to nail down a spot. And as a result, he's become a Socceroo. Now, Caceres! And a little fumble by Birighitti, but he'll track it down this time.
Good run from Caceres, and he's added to his game this season. I like the way now when he picks up a ball, he doesn't sort of pirouette, play it sideways. He goes. And this time it opens up because they're backing off. Lafondra made a run to the right. It was a good strike, and it was a tricky one for Birighitti.
Mark Birighitti has faced more shots than any other keeper this season. Into triple figures last week. He's faced 107 shots now, conceded 35 goals. Little no-look pass inside by De Silva. McGlinchey keeping the move going. Now the width from Clisby. Can he whip one around Grant? He can. And Ninkovic helping out defensively to get the clearance for Sydney FC.
Good ball again from Clisby. This time from open play.
Ooh. Miller has taken out Alex Wilkinson, and he'll go into the book as a result. He's a frustrated young man at the moment with the way things have panned out in the opening 20 minutes.
He slides in there, and he's lucky Alex Wilkinson is such a good pro, because a lot of other players would have made a lot more of that and maybe tempted the referee to do something more. It's a yellow card, deservedly.
Well, he's done well to avoid a serious injury there, Alex Wilkinson. The standing leg caught by the full force of Lewis Miller. That could have gone horribly wrong.
Certainly feeling it though, isn't he? The old warrior. What a fantastic career he's had, Alex Wilkinson.
35 years of age now, as is Milos Ninkovic. Nisbet gets the whistle and looking to go early, and that should be a yellow card against Rattray. It is. It's okay if you're inside the 10 yards in that situation and you keep turning away, but don't then come and close down.
Don't play at it.
And that will lead to a suspension. Paolo Rattray won't be part of next week's derby. Oh. Good little scrap. Rattray was involved again against Stensness. Playoff didn't come off that time from Lafondra.
That's better from the Mariners. Aggressive. Upping the tempo a bit. Disappointing ball there, but it's taken a deflection. And Miller will get the throw in.
Most advanced they've been as a team in general play here. The home side. Miller forced backwards by Ninkovic this time. Stensness was worried about the double team. Took his eye off it and then handled it.
Closed down very quickly, Stensness.
This is the yellow card situation. And you heard Paolo Rattray say to the referee, the ball was moving. Where's my bailout? And he's right. On a technicality, maybe he should have gotten away with it. way through the first half. Sydney FC bossed the opening stages, but the Mariners have steadied. Ninkovic able to turn and face forward. Caceres can do the same. Two-man game at the moment. Ninkovic rolling Nisbet.
He's so clever, isn't he? He uses his body.
That's a pretty clever pass as well, over the top. Lafondra couldn't nick it past Clisby after getting the better of Tonyi.
Yeah, Clisby did well to cover. Caught out initially, Tonyi following Barbarouses, but he got back quickly, Clisby. Ninkovic fouled. And he gets up. Instantly playing over the top, dropped it in for Barbarouses. It's Clisby's work.
Nisbet threads the eye of a needle. That run off it by Caceres was De Silva. Fondra drifting into a wide area. Too much on it for Ninkovic. Stenson's had to be quick again. Rigetti asking for his defenders to split. Tonyi running it out of his own box with confidence. And the Mariners, beautiful play to go from end to end all along the deck. Harold now. And they finish it all off. Spectacular attacking move from the hosts. Miller, McGlinchey, lifted deep. Clisby rose for the header, and it's out for the goal kick, but that was a beautiful flowing move.
Fantastic move. Played themselves out of trouble. Tonyi Stenson originally gave himself to Kim as a bouncer and then backed up with that straight pass in between the lines and really didn't get the end that that move deserved. And Clisby takes the header. But if you look on the replay, they did have Harold, I think, just behind him. They had allowed it. Not gone for it. You see Harold just behind, ready to control it.
We're able to watch a really lengthy replay there because Andrew Redmayne took an eternity to take the goal kick. It's something that some referees crack down on and others do not. Coming together there, Paolo Retre's got to watch his step, of course, after receiving the caution. He's had a few 50-50 since. Tonyi stepping up again and able to slip it through, and there was a chance for Harold to turn and go there. He went all the way back to halfway. Now De Silva taking the game on. Kept it going as well. Still De Silva. Did he handle that one? Clisby trying to bend that over the top of Redmayne into the top corner, I fancy.
Yeah, maybe a rush of blood because it was going to take something very special from there, but De Silva determined run. Got a couple of lucky breaks. One here as it comes off Grant, off his head. Caceres didn't really play it, and then Clisby goes for the spectacular.
"19 games for tonight's opponent last season, left on the bench as an unused sub in the grand final in Perth. Scored some handy goals for the Sky Blues, did Danny De Silva. And would have learnt plenty being a teammate of all the stars in Sky Blue. Milos Ninkovic at the head of that list, of course.
He's getting more of the ball, getting on the ball more than De Silva. That's a good sign for the Mariners.
Miller has been waiting for it here. Gets it from Gordon. Some tricks as well, does Lewis Miller. De Silva. And that's off Sydney FC. And out for a corner in the end. Trying to get that combination play going on the edge of the area.
Lewis Miller checks inside Ninkovic, and then really nice one-touch passing. Sydney with enough players to deal with it. Clisby's come all the way from left fullback to take this corner, so it'll be an in-swinger.
Miller with his height making the run. Great defending. Ryan Grant giving away plenty of height to Miller. Works back to Clisby, who works it onto his right again. Up in the air, Tonic lost out against Wilkinson.
Well, Clisby's delivery from set piece has been superb. That was a brilliant ball in from the corner.
Miller rose, and McGlinchey will keep it in. Decent diagonal as well from Birighitti to find this man Miller. Offside, always a risk when you go with that little 1-2 combination.
Difficult, isn't it? Redmayne can't come in for it because in swinging. See where it drops. No, Mariner really attacking that ball.
Yeah, Grant got great position on Miller. Put his body on the line. Headed clear. Ninkovic, beautiful play again. Now Barbarouses makes his run. So too did Caceres. He was the target of the Ninkovic ball. There's space here for De Silva. Nisbet leaves it for Harold. Teammates on the edge of the area, including McGlinchey. Little flick to De Silva, and tries the toe poke. And Redmayne made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, the toe poke wasn't a bad idea because his first touch is a little bit heavy, so he has to take it quickly. But another really good break from the Mariners. A little square ball from McGlinchey, a little bit heavy there, and he tries to toe it. And it certainly had Redmayne lunging to his right-hand side.
Miller asking for help on this near side. Now Ninkovic forced backwards by Nisbet. Short passing from Sydney FC. Now McGowan able to take the game on. Little surge as well. Wants it back here. Ryan McGowan into nosebleed territory. And a block in the end by Gordon. Great adventure from the centre half.
It's a brilliant run. It just opened up for him. He was looking for a pass. And there really wasn't one on. And it opened up and he thought, well, I'll just keep going. Burst through two here. Stensness and Josh Nisbet. And the return pass was good. And Ziggy Gordon was good enough to get the block on.
Couple of chances now for McGowan to add to his solitary A-League goals so far this season. You get on the end of Bratton's service here. Near post delivery dealt with by Kim. Great honour in his first season to be handed the captain's armband this evening. The 31-year-old Korean, a veteran of more than 100 games in the K-League. Bratton out on this near side is demanding it. King will leave it for him. Switch back the other way. Good closing down by Tonje. And upended by Barbarouses, who shouldered him off the ball legally.
You wouldn't think that would be possible, would you?
Well done, Ziggy Gordon. Kept his eyes on it, but it broke the way of Lafondra. Ninkovic looking for support. King switches it up again, fullback to fullback. Grant straight into Clisby once more. Rattray needs skill to get around one, but there's no way past Tonje, who's turning into a popular figure right now with the home fans. The way that he's attacked the game from the back. Silva didn't quite play it out off Caceres. Oh, they clocked off here. Easy throw into the feet of Caceres. What can he make of the cross? Again, driven straight into an opponent.
He's done well to work himself into that area and should have produced better. Tried low and hard.
The angle was there for a cutback, wasn't it?
Yep. The play's been stuck on this right-hand side for the last couple of minutes.
Double team, one out against Ryan Grant. Flick off Bratton's head. Wilkinson eventually got there as Harold was coming the other way. Stensness went underneath it, put a bit of pressure on his teammate Ziggy Gordon, who was up to the challenge. Stensness, I'm sure he was looking for McGlinchey, he might have been looking for Miller, but it worked out. Harold hasn't really gotten into the game just yet. Not a position we're used to seeing him fill in the A-League either.
No, they're not worked probably the way they would have liked at the moment, although he's been busy across that front line. No, and they have had a pretty good period, the Mariners. Just when they get in that final third, just getting that cutting edge.
Lost out and then won it back briefly.
And lost out again.
McGlinchey over the top to De Silva. Just didn't get the angles right. Otherwise, De Silva was into the box.
Well, what about the pace and awareness from Ryan Grant? Because he was caught upfield, but the crossfield ball was a decent one, but it just didn't have the power on it to get there quicker for Danny De Silva.
Lafondra looking for Barbarouses. Again, Tonje reading the play well. Oh, Gordon caught late here by Lafondra. Immediately appealing for treatment, and then he realised he was okay. Got back to his feet. No foul on Rattray either. Chris Beef letting things roll. De Silva tries the outside of the boot for Harold.
Defending well. Not sure everything Sydney are throwing at them, and really when you analyse it, the goal was gifted for them, and they've only really had one other chance. Well, I suppose Ryan McGowan with his miss with his left foot with the header from Barbarouses. But you wouldn't say that in any way, shape or form that the Mariners are out of this.
Yeah, history says Sydney FC will need at least another goal because the Mariners always score against them at this venue in the last 13 head-to-head meetings. Just wonder how Stajic is going to play his bench today with all that attacking talent. What order might they be utilised? Matty Simon, Jordan Murray, Sammy Silvera, Jair. Clisby delivers away by McGowan. Looking to absorb the pressure right now, the Sky Blues.
Clisby's knocked in some terrific balls, but just don't really have the players that like that kind of ball, if you want. Those players are on the bench. Simons, Jordan Murray.
Just gone away from Barbarouses. There's where the star power is to challenge Sydney FC in the second half. Milan Juric, I don't know about you, Robbie, but he's nearly the player of the season, isn't he, for the Central Coast, but can't get into the starting 11 right now.
I must say, I've always, the games I've done of the Mariners, he's always been one of their major players in the game. Bentley Stajic is doing the training. Sees them every day. They're in a difficult position.
Stumble by De Silva, but he atoned. No, he didn't. Little tug on the shorts was spotted by Chris Beef.
I'll tell you what, it's a little bit harsh. I thought LaFondra lost that.
And there's the tug on the shorts.
Oh, but it's not. It didn't hinder his movement, did it? With a slight touch there. But letter of the law, I guess, Speedy. His hand was there.
It's all narrow again here for Sydney FC. Here's the width from King, and he'll get a corner out of it. Great atmosphere amongst those travelling supporters. And their team doubled their money here. Oh, attacking it at the
McGowan
back post.
again, isn't it?
McGowan. And it's out for the goal kick. Last touch off him.
He attacks it. Just stood firm and did enough.
And probably put it out of play too.
Yeah.
Real Antoni.
Should have been a corner.
Fifth A-League club already. Ruan Tonic made his A-League debut against Sydney FC with Melbourne City in 2016. Hoping to make Gosford a home for the near future. Nice ball from Stensness, quickly out to Miller. Rattray had to time it. De Silva trying to get in behind him. Miller wins it back. Show of strength against Bratton. Stensness went backwards where a square ball was on to McGlinchey. Threw his head back in frustration, the New Zealand international, and then that pass was a little awry.
Sloppy from Sydney. Yeah, far too static, really, there.
Step over, then he appeared to catch Rattray, and the ball just kept on going, and the free kick is given against the man already on a booking.
Nutmeg there on Joel King, and he comes through. Rattray's got to be careful getting involved in clumsy challenges like this. So like you said,
it's got to be Sydney FC. Yeah, all right.
See, Owen Stajic was going to bat on what you're saying. Could be a second yellow for Rattray. Then he saw the replay and said that Rattray's nearly had his leg broken by Miller, which is the way I saw it in real time. Miller lost control of his limbs there with the step overs from him.
He did, and it was a nasty challenge. You can see it as he comes through here. Takes one touch. Just gets it all wrong.
See, he's in possession, but that's a potential leg breaker that Miller has executed on Red Track.
It should have been a free kick for Sydney FC. He wasn't in control of the ball when it happened. He'd lost control, even though it was between his legs. He was stumbling all over the place. I don't think he meant to. I think, well, you explained it's probably the best way, is he lost control of his limbs.
Rattray.
Well, it's a good position for Jack Clisby. He's been excellent in respect to his set pieces this half. He'll be angling this one towards the line of the 6-yard box. This is a real chance for Mariners if he gets a delivery right.
Kurt Amps keeping Rattray honest as well. He can't come back onto the pitch until the set piece is delivered. So there's one less for Sydney FC. Clisby, free header and the equaliser! Gianni Stensness has his first A-League goal, or does he? The assistant is going to talk it over with Chris Beath about who was offside and who wasn't, and who was interfering with play.
Well, there's another terrific ball in from Jack Clisby. So it's offside, surely the VAR look at it.
Well, here we go. So Chris Beath talks it over with Nathan McDonald, and now they'll let VAR check it all out. So they're saying that an offside player blocks a Sydney FC player, interferes with play. So they're saying that Kim is the offside man, blocking Wilkinson, taking him out of it, and then the onside Stensness scores. But it's a great adjudication.
So he's going to check it out.
Well, Kim doesn't need to do that.
But if he didn't, then Wilkinson probably deals with it. The goal won't stand.
No, it's clear interference.
See, he's offside there.
He's not even looking at the ball. His whole intent was to block Wilkinson. He wasn't even facing the ball.
He's holding Wilkinson out of it. The VAR is Chris Griffiths-Jones, just running the rule over it, probably clarifying that Kim's offside. And the confirmation has come. It's something that A-League referees have cracked down on ever since, remember the old, you're doing the old Melbourne Victory thing?
Every game.
So Kim's probably okay if he doesn't go with the arm grab.
Yeah.
If he just stands his ground, maybe he gets away with it.
It's still, when you look, you keep looking at it, it still looks harsh. I'm not sure Wilkinson would have got there to stop that goal. They say when you're down there, you're luck. You don't seem to get much of it.
Ninkovic dumped Miller. Set piece is given. The natives are restless here. Alan Stajic not happy with that early ruling either.
Well, the Mariners will feel hard done by, and I understand that. But they've got to take... And they've got another set piece here, maybe something from this one, but they've certainly worried Sydney FC in the last 20 minutes.
Clisby whips it in. Redmayne backtracked and made a pretty comfortable claim in the end. I think this 2 minutes of stoppage time has another 1 or 2 being added on here for that VAR inspection. Grant continues his run, but again it's Toniek with the read. He's dominated on that side of the defence. And there's what the Mariners fans think of it. Kim knows that he's been pinged for what he did off the ball, opening up that space for Stensness to bury the header. And Stensness now being explained why his goal was chalked off. Alan Stajic is heading up the tunnel, and he's not happy with someone who's spoken out, maybe part of the Sydney FC coaching staff. And Stajic chased them down the tunnel, so we could have another talking point after all this. At half-time, it's Sydney FC 1-0 up. Let's get down to the goal scorer with Tara.
Yeah, thanks, Brett and Speed, joined by Milos Nikovic. Milos, you can hear the crowd. It got a little bit sketchy at the end there. The Mariners nearly had a goal. How do you see it?
Look, to be honest, I think they played much better than us. I think we played very poor first half. We need to play much better second half if we want to win this game.
Lucky for you. How's it been getting back on the pitch? It's been about 3 weeks for you personally.
Yeah, it's been very hard, to training. I had feeling like it's pre-season, and but yeah, I felt all right first half, and hopefully I will feel better in the second half.
So what needs to change come the second half, Milos?
Just we need to keep the ball. As I said, every time, if you keep the ball, if you move side to side, we have enough quality player to create chances and to score goals.
Get in there, get a rest, see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great to hear from Milos Nikovic there. We're off to a short break here live from Centrico Stadium in Gosford. On the other side, I'll be joined by Mark Bosnich to run our eye over all of the first half action, including the goal that was scratched off for the Mariners. We'll see you soon.
I'm sorry.
He's
Yeah, I got it. I'm not. Registration are now open. I don't know by the time you got there, but all the teams, like both teams.
Welcome back to Central Coast Stadium. Well, things have well and truly heated up. This is just moments after the halftime whistle. Alan Stajic talking to referee Chris Beath. Very upset because just moments earlier, his side had a goal deemed offside. He was very upset with the decision. A huge talking point here at the conclusion of the very first half of football between Sydney FC and the Central Coast Mariners. Welcome back, and Tara Rushton. It's great to have your company and to be joined by Mark Bosnich. Well, things just escalated and went up a fair few decibels within this stadium. The fans were very upset. Alan Stajic, as we saw, very upset as well. We're about to see the moment in question, Bozza. A ball is whipped in and played here, okay? Now, okay, first glance, looks okay. Talk us through the moment which got the VAR where they intervened.
You see the player here, it's Kim, right? He's in an offside position, but he was standing in that position that a lot of teams have that player basically standing there just like as an obstacle. But once he gets involved, which he did, I think it was Alex Wilkinson he stopped, he becomes offside. So if you watch here, he's just standing there. Okay, so he's just standing there, and now he gets involved. He stops Alex Wilkinson from having any chance to head the ball. It must be offside. So I say well done, not only to the assistant referee, because he basically explained it to referee what he saw, because sometimes for an assistant it's hard to see whether or not he is interfering with play. Chris Beath obviously agreed with him, which is the right thing.
Yep.
And obviously VAR agreed as well. Now, the other thing I will say is this, completely understandable, not only for the crowd, but for the manager to be upset, because they've played really well the last 20 minutes. But the bottom line is it was 100% the right decision, and in all fairness, they were lucky to have the free kick in the first place.
If you go back a moment and a frame in the sequence from that moment of the free kick, it was arguably that it could have been Sydney's free kick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, this is where people got to understand VAR can't get involved unless it's a sending off offence. Now, a lot of people might turn around and say, well, Boz could have been given a sending off offence the way he went with his foot, but I think that was just in his natural path. It didn't mean no malice by it, so it would at most be a yellow card, but it was a Sydney free kick. It wasn't a Central Coast Mariners free kick. But regardless, in terms, just to explain that again, so you see that every week. So you're the last line. I'll just be standing here. As long as I stand there, that's no problem. Once I start getting involved with you, I'm offside because I'm interfering. I'm gaining an advantage from an offside position, and basically you cannot do that.
Regardless of whether it is deemed or seen that perhaps Wilco pushed Kim, not the other way around.
Well, Wilco's trying to get towards the ball.
Yes.
Right, so basically if Kim just stands there, fine. But once after Wilco first pushes him, he then goes to push back. He becomes active. Simple as that. And he's in an offside position.
Okay. So that's the way it was deemed in the end.
You see here?
Yep,
right, okay.
I can see him.
So he's but if he's already
he's
involved. I can see his arm going there somewhere.
Yeah.
But you can't. You can't basically gain an advantage across over the opposition from being in an offside position.
So Alan Stagic's response?
Well, look, like I said to you, it's understandable because their team have played so well for the last 20 minutes of the first half. I thought Sydney had the better of the first 20, 25 minutes, and it must be frustrating. So he, and he's passionate. That's understandable.
Yeah.
We'd all be heard what the crowd was like, and we'd all be the same. We all want our team to win, whatever we're playing, even whatever Monopoly. Like if you want to win, you want to win.
That's a long game to play.
But the bottom line is that is the reality, and that's what we're here to point out.
Interesting you say Sydney aren't at their best. Milos Ninkovic, who's back in the squad, he hasn't played an A-League game for 23 days, and he said it so much when he walked up the tunnel. Lucky for him, though, Bozza, he's made the difference.
Well, he's made the difference with his goal. To be fair, the first 25 minutes, Sydney were the better side and really, should have been probably 2-up. And McGowan missed an absolute sitter. So I just thought that was, typical Sydney, what we've seen. I think they were just doing enough. And to be fair to the Central Coast Mariners, they've really come back into it. And what we were questioning before the game about, maybe not having an out-and-out striker and all these midfielders, it's actually worked for them in terms of the overall game plan, because a lot of times they're outnumbering Sydney in the middle of the park, and they're starting to make little runs. I think the number 26, Joshua Nisbet, Daniel De Silva, Gianni Stesnes, they've been absolutely outstanding. So they, in my opinion, like I said, they have put a really good fight up in this last 20 minutes of the first half.
It's interesting looking at the benches, because we've spoken about a couple of players in the starting 11. Quite a young bench at Sydney FC. You've got Ben Warland, who hopefully we might see him tonight back from nearly a year out with his ACL. Looking at the quality on the Mariners bench, Juric, Orr, Silvera, Matty Simon, to me, they all spell match winners or even equalisers from the Mariners
very, very
perspective.
true. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because you put yourself in Alan Stagic's position. His team have played really well the last 20 minutes. He would be believing that they should be 1-1. even though it was, like I said, it was a correct decision, it was offside. So what does he do now? Does he keep it the same? Does he... See, I would keep it the same for maybe 10 minutes, and then I would do exactly what you said, Tara. I'd start bringing on the likes of Milan Juric. I'd start bringing on the likes of Jordan Murray, Silvera, even Matty Simon, if things continue like this, because he's got to think to himself, once again, what we spoke about pre-match, okay, we played well, but we're still 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Do I want to wait till I'm 2-0 down and then start to look for a miracle? No. So I would be more proactive rather than reactive.
Yeah, well, it's all to play for. The fans are well and truly, they bought in because of what happened just at the break of halftime. We've got a huge second half coming up on the other side between Sydney FC and the Central Coast Mariners. How will the Mariners bounce back? See you soon.
From the coach, Mike. Hi, how's it going? Who am I talking to? Yes, I got you there. Who am I talking to? Well, that's good. Lovely. We're happy. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I got you there.
All good.
It's Peter. It's Coachy. Coachy Peter.
Coachy.
Coachy. Oh, here we go.
Your Central Coast Mariners.
Can't hear anything. Yeah, just a little bit. Can we turn it up a touch? More? Can you turn it up? Can it go any higher?
Test. Alan, you got me?
That's better.
You got me? All good?
It's better. That's better, yeah.
Not too far away, Al.
No worries.
You happy with that?
Yeah, it's good now. Yeah.
Okay, Steve.
Welcome back to Gosford. Second half about to get underway. The Mariners chasing the game, 1-0 down to Sydney FC. Only goal of the game so far scored by that man, Milos Ninkovic. So the Mariners looking to get straight on the front foot with the kick-off routine. And their coach, Alan Stajic, good enough to join us at the start of this second half. Have you calmed down after that disallowed goal, Coach?
Yeah, I'm real calm, Speedy. Thanks for that, mate.
On reflection, have they made the right call?
No, no chance. They said the blocker was offside. I haven't seen a blocker called for offside all season, so as long as they stick with that for the next 100 games of A-League, we'll be right.
Well, Stadge, apart from that, and I know it's difficult to get over that, but you did control large parts of that first half, which would make you happy.
Yeah, look, I thought we got better. I thought it was a poor start, the first 10 or 15 minutes, some cheap turnovers in the back third. But look, I thought we grew into the game and we performed really well after that. And it would have been nice to get a little bit of reward there at the end of the first half.
Thanks for your time, mate. Good
Cheers,
luck
guys.
second
Thanks.
half. Here's Harold, one out up front. Not a whole lot of support for the former Glory man. So he takes on the shot from the acute angle. Never going to test Redmayne.
No, and he had no other option, did he? That's the type of ball he likes, when he can face defenders and run at them, but a bit of support would be ideal, so he had to take on the shot. But the Mariners need to focus on the last particular 20 minutes, where I thought they got better and better, and as Alan Stajic said, they grew into the game. They've just got to find more cutting edge.
And the point that he's making about the blocker not being cracked down upon, I think they are cracked down upon across the A-League.
Yeah, look, I think you pointed that out when it happened. Look, I can see why they don't give it. I still think, no, maybe it's the old player in me. I just think it's a bit harsh. I'm not sure if Wilkinson gets there, but hey, if that's the law, that's the law. And that's what you get now with the VAR. To be fair, the referee's assistant spotted it, didn't he?
Yeah. And talked it over with Chris Beath. I'm sure the assessors will give them 100% for the way they adjudicated it all. Kim, no doubt that he's offside. He puts his arms around Wilkinson, interferes with play, and that chalks off the Stensness goal. And from memory, Chris Beath might have been the referee that night that the Wanderers had that goal disallowed in the Sydney Derby at the SCG for a similar kind of thing, an offside player interfering with play. Well, it's something the referees keep an eye out for. And sadly today, it's cost the Mariners. But why was Kim set up like that?
Yeah, that's what I said.
To not gain an advantage.
Yeah, he didn't need to.
Still plenty of time to find another equaliser. Awkward fall for Bratton. Got his foot stuck under Nisbet there, and he stayed down. Trying to get back to his feet, but they're one man down at the moment. Redmayne comes, floated in the air a long time. He doesn't want it. Says to Redmayne, put it out of play.
Yeah, just awkward as he slides in there on Nisbet and injures himself.
What kind of damage can you do there?
Well, the Achilles comes to mind, the calf. As you saw, it got stuck and then moved again. He's sit down on the bench, Sydney. Looking like they're preparing a double substitution.
His old magic hands might have done it again there. Elias gives the thumbs up, the Sydney FC bench, that Bratton will be okay. Maybe just the shock of the way that foot went up and down. But, squad rotation for the 3 A-League clubs involved in the AFC Champions League. We're going to see quite a bit of it. It looks like they're going to carry through with that double change in the not too distant future. Redmayne shanked, and that would definitely have been offside if Harold had gotten involved there after putting the pressure on Redmayne. Bounced straight back his way.
And the question now for Sydney going into the second half, and how much is in the legs, as they had to do a lot of running against Yokohama, a lot of running and chasing.
three centre halves, stringing the passes together. De Silva driving at them. Lovely balance. Found Harold. Forced Miller wide. And King had Ninkovic as the bailout. Rattray found an angle for Barbarouses, and the ball didn't quite stay in through all of that. It's Mariner's throw. No, he forgot which team was running which way, the assistant, and it's a Sydney FC throw. Second time around. ...30 wins and 10 defeats in his A-League coaching career so far, Steve Corica. He knows it's going to take some work to close this one out there. Toniek. McGlinchey. Square ball to De Silva. Bounces off Harold. Sydney FC defending deep with a solid block. And Ninkovic upended. And De Silva knew he'd caught him. Seen that trick on the training pitch a few times.
Well, that just relieves the pressure for Sydney. Mariners have started this second half to better. The momentum still carrying on from the first half.
Gordon engaged Barbarouses early, knocked him over. All above board. Miller run. Blocked off by Ninkovic. Clisby across once more. Almost caught him with the accidental elbow in the end, over the top.
Well, let's see what happens from this set piece. His delivery's been excellent.
Clisby delivers. Saw Sydney FC at the drop. De Silva can go back to the left back on the right-hand side. Whips in another decent ball, but Redmayne with the early shout. He wants to play high tempo. How many of his teammates do right now? It's worked out for Rattray. Kim stepping up at the right time. Clisby in the road as they tried to get the training ground routine going. Bratt has recovered nicely. Krantz couldn't believe what his teammates did in the middle as the throw went to no one. De Silva, can he find an angle? And the flag will go up. Stensness was metres offside. Sydney FC so disciplined, so in tune with one another defensively.
And they certainly needed to be there. And Stensness, I think De Silva just took that extra touch. He'd already gone. You can see Wilkinson there. He knows. He steps up and they get the flag.
Such an obvious offside that Brad Wright put the flag up instantly, didn't wait to see what happened from the attack. And you'd have to say the assistants might have been on fire. Steve Corica complaining about an accumulation of fouls on the same opponent. Wants more protection for his playmakers. McGowan caught this time, and De Silva had a little glance. Redmayne was off his line, still De Silva, and the pass behind Harold in the end. Maybe he could have gone early.
Yeah, he needed to make a decision early once he come back. I mean, it was difficult. He did have two defenders around him by the time he approached the 18-yard box, but a mistake from McGowan. And De Silva, not with electric pace. It might have, and if that was Harold, it might have been a different outcome.
That's the danger of a centre-half taking the game on like McGowan did, to great effect in the first half. Nearly had his pants pulled down on that occasion.
Well, the Mariners must be sensing that Sydney is certainly not at their best and a little bit tired.
No foul was the cry. Lafondra sent flying by Miller. Asked for the whistle, never came. And the Mariners appear to be preparing a double change before Sydney FC go to their bench. Grant stepped up. McGlinchey kept it away from him. And Clisby has another chance to deliver. Back post. Nisbet. And Harold got back to his feet, but Wilkinson kept it away. Great encouragement here. Oh, De Silva nearly with the deft through ball for Nisbet.
And Nisbet, of all people, at the back post, managed to get his head to it. He's in space here.
Josh Nisbet flashes one over, but the Mariners are looking the stronger team right now. It's time for change. 3 subs at once here as we approach the hour mark. And it's the Central Coast boy coming on for Sydney, Trent Bahaja, hearing some boos, the speedster. And then you got the Sydney boy in Sam Silvera coming on for the Mariners. And Tommy Orr makes his return as well as McGlinchey takes his lead. Barbarouses has been quiet, and he's the one withdrawn for Barbarouses. No, Bahaja rather. Miller on a yellow card, withdrawn here, so maybe a change of formation, or does Silvera slot into a right wing-back role?
It certainly appears the case.
There's Alex Baumjohann watching on, and as fate would have it, he'll make his return from suspension against the Wanderers after that rescheduling of next week's derby on the Friday night. What a blockbuster to look forward to after the Wanderers' big win last Friday, 5-2 over the Reds. Trying to go undercover there, Baumjohann, but the Fox Sports cameras found him, Robbie.
He certainly did, even with his cap on. Here he is, we got him again.
Father of 2, loving their time down under. Bounced off Bahaja. Very similar to the round 10 meeting. Sydney FC got the early goal and held on to that throughout. Mariners played plenty of good football but couldn't find an equaliser, and Clisby didn't get hold of that after Orr released him with a terrific ball.
Yeah, didn't catch it. Tried to cross it on the half volley as Grant was steaming back. That's all the Mariners.
Clever little no-look pass from De Silva. Tommy Orr trying to pick out Harold in the middle. Sydney FC counter-attack brewing, and Bahaja has the speed. Great control. Took it on the chest somehow and kept it in front of himself. Checks back for Caceres. Now they'll go again to Bahaja. Lafondra outnumbered in the middle. There's no early delivery from out wide.
Did well, didn't he? It was a difficult one. controlling it at full pace.
Kim did well to get back and force him wide. Bahaja was part of that Ollie Ruse squad that successfully qualified for Tokyo 2020. And it's the role that he can play with that team as well, come off the bench, and especially when the team has a 1-0 lead, it's probably when he's at his best. As there's space in behind for those balls over the top. Bratton, terrific switch.
Clever play. Very congested on the right-hand side, and he saw it early, as he always does. In that kind of position, he loves this right-hand side.
This time he's on the same page with his throw, Ryan Grant. Fondra, top of the Golden Boot race with 15 in 15 coming into tonight. Didn't score against the Mariners in round 10. Clever by Bratton. Grant pull back. Across the face from Bahaja as the Mariners got the block in again. Sydney FC's best move in about an hour.
Yeah. Bratton just ghosted in free, lays it in, and the cutback was definitely on. Defended it pretty well. They had enough bodies, the Mariners.
Bratton really is running the show. Numbers forward here for the Sky Blues. Bahaja being marshalled by Ziggy Gordon, who kept it in through all of that. Oh, ball right on the edge of the area. Lucky he wasn't another metre away inside the box there, Sammy Silvera.
Yeah, you're right, because comes off the surface, he's going clearly. Another metre, it would have been a spot kick.
Probably wouldn't have been. Probably wouldn't have been brave enough to whistle if it was inside the box. Handy spot for Bratton.
Yep, what's he do? Go for goal? I think it'll be this one where it's sort of half going for goal and just flash it across that 6-yard box. Sometimes you see them flash in at the far post. It goes over the bodies.
Would be a real treat for those Sydney FC fans. In that far corner. Bratton with pace. Good handling, Birighitti.
Yeah, did well to hold it because there's a lot of power in it. Good safe hands from Birighitti. Sydney just enjoying a better period now for them.
Terrific run, movement from Ninkovic off the ball, looking to slide Bahaja in behind. Goal side of Tonjik. He pulled the wrong rein, Trent Bahaja.
Heavy touch, he was in, he was behind. And his first touch, it's too heavy, but it's too straight as well. Instead of going across, here's the... That's, I mean, it looks easy, but that's coming past, flashing past bodies. But Bahaja should have taken that across Tonjik. And if Tonjik gets any contact, he gets a pen as well.
Silvera didn't quite work the angle. New role for him, playing as a right wing back. And over the top of the ball went Bratton. He's going into the book for that one. He caught Tommy Orr.
I'm not sure he did. Well, we'll see here. He certainly loses control. He doesn't go over the top. Let's have another look at it.
It's an overreaction from a referee who might have missed one in the first half. First contact was with Tommy Orr, though, but there wasn't a whole lot of it. Terrific atmosphere tonight. Lights beginning to take over at the Central Coast Stadium. Lisby has taken most of these, does so again. Tonjik's a chance here to help it on. Likewise, Kim brought it down. Oh, and Silvera missed. It wouldn't have counted as Kim's been picked off again. This time for a handball, says Chris B.
And Silvera didn't know that. He should have buried it. And he gets led off by the whistle. Off the hands, clearly.
Andrew Redmayne has kept back-to-back clean sheets in the A-League. Sydney FC haven't kept 3 in a row since the 16-17 season. Chris Beatt's finally onto him. 65 minutes in. They do manage the games, Sydney FC. Probably better than anyone else. Take their time with throw-ins, take their time with goal kicks, and it's up to a referee to hurry them up a little. Grant, deft little touch. Got away from Lafondra. Tonyik playing with some flair. Breaks the way of Bahaja. And crowded out of it by a couple.
Well, I don't know why he stops Bahaja. He should have just kept going. He's so fast. He doesn't need to check. Because he hesitates, he just allowed 2 Mariners to get back onto him.
Even poke it 10 yards away into the box.
That's what I'm saying. Just poke it and go. They're not going to catch him.
Overhit by Orr considerably. Nisbet. De Silva. Turned into trouble in the end and then dragged Bratton down.
And that's got to go right side. There's so much space for Ziggy Gordon and Silvera. That ball should have gone directly out to the right-hand side.
Sydney FC poised to go 13 points clear at the top and 30 points clear of the Mariners at the foot of that A-League ladder. Perth, Melbourne City and Wellington all locked on 30 points apiece. It's going to be a thrilling race for that all-important top 2 finish. Destiny of the Premier's plate appears to be Sydney FC again. Tommy Orr keeping it away from Bratton. How's the delivery? It deflected and hung in the air a long time, and the goalkeeper favoured by it in the end.
Yeah, it was in the air long enough for Redmayne to be able to readjust because he was on his heels. Battle between Bratton and Tommy Orr. Big deflection. And yes, it stays so long in the air that it gave him time to readjust.
Tommy Orr now taking on the strike from 30 metres away. Forward in good numbers here. Given away by Nisbet. Ninkovic, heavy touch. And he clattered into Ziggy Gordon. He's probably entitled to a whistle. It's Ninkovic who came off second best.
And Joel King gives it away, so twice they turn it over.
Orr with the diagonal. Clisby never looked confident of dragging that one out of the sky. On for the Mariners.
Yep, Caceres this time guilty of giving it away. The Mariners have got to make the most of these balls that they keep getting given. Sydney have dropped off.
Clisby eludes Harold in the middle. Who wants that? Lafondra, a little late to react, but he got there in time.
Caceres is struggling.
FC have another substitute ready to come on. Harry van der Sar.
Caceres might look done here. Unless it's just cramping, he can get over it, but he's stretching his hamstring.
Orr. Grant should be able to prevent the corner.
Caceres down. Grant's breathing in the big ones. Be a long 20 minutes for them.
Sarah should be invited to leave the pitch at the nearest possible point rather than walk to halfway. Chris Beath just alerted him to that fact, and on comes Harry van der Sark, a young man who's been getting his fair share of game time, often in the right back role. Looks like he'll play ahead of Ryan Grant here, just talking it over with the veteran. Silver able to turn. Are they heavy-legged here, Sydney FC? Improvising and getting the shot away was Chris Harold. No power in it, though.
Yeah, and off balance as he hits it. That's why there's no power. Just gets it on a little back lift because he's got no time as he shifted that ball to his right foot. Mariners need to press because Sydney look very tired.
Only one more change available to the Mariners. Matt Simon would loom as the favourite.
Yep, I think he'll the one that's going to be coming on.
Perhaps not too far away from seeing that Mariners bench emptied. De Silva, oh, not on the same page as Harold. Snapshot from Orr. There were bodies in the road. Mariners fans optimistically hoping an arm was used by Wilkinson. Didn't look like it. Clisby. That was an interesting situation inside the box. Well, it did strike the arm, but tucked into the side. No risk of a penalty being given up there. Misplaced pass from Luke Rutt for the first time all evening. A couple of gargles and Matty Simon will be ready, Robbie.
Yep, get ready for it. We know what we're going to get. And Sydney know as well because he was with them not that long ago.
Tonyuk. Beautifully done again by the big man. Clisby's delivery once more, dealt with by King at the back post. Mahaja gives it away. Oh, Stensness slipped, but then recovered. Clisby's ball again.
Well, you've got to get Matt Simon on now. You know, they're getting plenty of territory, they're getting plenty of balls into the box, but there's no real threat in there. Sydney have lost all their rhythm.
Rare touch for Birighitti of late. Edged in front in the possession stat. The home team after being dominated early on in the contest. Silvera, dynamic speed and then poor pass at the end of it all, but it's straight back to Nisbet. Thought about Clisby, eventually used him. Different angle for the delivery, perhaps. Silvera. Still Sammy Silvera. Turned into trouble. Ninkovic keeps his feet through the challenge of Stensness. Mahaja was ready for one being slipped in behind. Ninkovic didn't pull the trigger that time and apologised for it.
Sydney just need to try and keep some possession to have a rest. They've been chasing shadows for the last 6 or 7 minutes.
The time for a tactical foul. Just go up and tackle a Sydney FC player and get Matt Simon on, Robbie. I can sense your frustration. See it in the NBA when you want to get a player off or on. The foul is made. Sub can occur. Simon's been there for a minute and a half now. Bahaja. Bratt. Grant. Sarg with the deft little layoff. Lafondra. Toniak has to go again and does. Offside. Lafondra doesn't bother getting involved.
Matt Simon's just waiting for the ball to go out. Something to happen for him to get on.
Nisbet. Finds an angle to Silvera. Sammy Silvera to the byline and nearly an own goal. Might have struck the upright off Wilkinson. It's out for a corner. And guess who's going to arrive for the set piece?
Well, terrific work by Silvera. And finally, they get him in a position where he can use that skill that he's got, drops the shoulder and goes around Joel King. He went central. He comes out here. Silvera stands up Joel King, drops the shoulder and around he goes. And Wilkinson did well to cut it out.
And avoid the Oggie somehow, only just. Clisby's delivery, Matt Simon there. And touch clear by Redmayne. Counter-attack and quick break is on. Bahaja. A little show and go. And upended by De Silva. And Sydney FC will take that right now. It's a booking.
Oh, Tony De Silva, you give him a lot of credit for the chase. He chased down Bahaja there. And a little shimmy, he deaccelerates and then he's off again, and that's what does him.
Eventually went across to take the free kick, which Rattray stood over initially. A few more seconds eaten up. Late run being made by McGowan here. He eluded Ninkovic in the middle, and McGowan has left a little vacant pocket now. Look at all the yellow shirts streaming forward here. De Silva pulled off into space intelligently here. Orr makes the run, and it was overhit. Think back to the home game for the Mariners at this venue against the Melbourne Victory. And they scored twice in stoppage time to win it. 100th minute winner from Matt Simon. Must-watch TV down the stretch in Mariners home games. Simon already providing the nuisance factor, but McGowan one out. Bahaja went through on Stensness. 50-50 on halfway. Stensness certainly in the thick of it today. Nisbet again wins another header, bravely backing back. Inside the final 10 minutes of the 90. Milos Ninkovic scored the opening goal 8 minutes in. Has had one chalked off on the stroke of half-time. An offside blocker. Not a whole lot of movement for Clisby. Eventually, Stensness presented. Just the throw-in again. Shank by Clisby and shielded successfully by Grant.
Yeah, on this last, well, it's into the last 10 minutes, of course, we'll have injury time, but for the Mariners, you just sense they've got to try and move the ball quicker and get it wide. Get it into areas where Clisby and Silvera can get balls into the box. That's why Matt Simon's come on. That should be their goal.
Great distance in the goal kick. Toniuk able to hook it clear. He's been heavily involved, hasn't he? Much of the calls from Sydney FC have come down Toniuk's side. See Lafondra telling Van der Sar just slow it down. We have the lead. We have the Mariners right where we want them. Backheel finds Van der Sar. Now Lafondra. Grant in behind. Plenty of pace, too much elevation on the cross as well, but King will keep it in. And then he got a little sloppy. And he'll settle for a throw.
Great run from Grant, just couldn't find the right ball. There's two Sydney players, but they were well marked, but you need to hit that one low. Go across the face of the goal.
Picture postcard stuff, as you just saw on the Central Coast. One of the most beautiful picturesque stadiums in world football. The Mariners play their home games. Lafondra, deflection, and out for a corner.
It's a good outcome for Lafondra because he had nowhere else to go. They will take their time to take this throw in. Corner, rather.
Alan Stajic trying to get at least one or two Mariners to push up towards halfway and keep Sydney FC honest. Gives them a greater chance to launch the quick counter. Sydney FC have 3 against 2 back on halfway. Bratton slices one in off the head of Simon. Red Train. Bratton just unhurried. Standout performer tonight for the visitors. Great ball, finds the chest of Lafondra. Looking for a killer ball. Bahaja was on as well. Also had the run being made by Van der Sar. Stensness. Can he find the angle with the diagonal? You bet he can. Into the stride of Orr. Looking to find Matt Simon. Just overhit to the back post. Stensness encouraged to shoot. Scored there in a World Cup for New Zealand at under 20 level. Seemingly all the Mariners fans have watched that YouTube clip, know what Stensness is capable of.
Well, they could do with one right now. It's been pretty good for them in the middle of the park in this game.
Silvera again. Clisby wins the header. Van der Sar. And Lafondra dragged back by Toniuk. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remains. Two-time W League Coach of the Year with Sydney FC, Alan Stajic. Staring down the barrel of a 6-game losing streak here for the Central Coast. Sarg in space. Rare lapse from Bratton. Nisbet pretty much on it for the silver. Great win by Simon. Tommy Orr running right at them. It breaks for De Silva. He's got Silvera for support. Early ball, and again Wilkinson in the road. Corner given.
It's a terrific touch, terrific tackle from Sydney. Is all bearing down on goal. Sydney looking to make another substitution.
Exciting moment coming up for that young man, but he's not going to come on when they're defending a set piece. De Silva. Great awareness by McGowan to get in the road of Matt Simon. There was an extra Mariner there if the ball had had a little less weight on it. Now another chance. Kim could have laid it off to Silvera. Turned away from goal in the end. The Korean stands it up back post. And anywhere will do for Ryan Grant.
Yeah, that was a terrific chance. You're right, he could have just laid that one back.
Sydney FC won the Youth League Grand Final in style a few weeks back. And this guy was the star of the show for much of the campaign. And he is rewarded with an A-League debut tonight. 18-year-old Marco Tillia. He's got all the tricks. And he's going to replace Adam Lafondra up top. Welcome to the big time, Marco Tillia. He's got some swagger. Tonya. De Silva. Simon. Silvera is all alone on the right wing. They're coming back to the left instead, or teasing it. Redmayne palms it clear. Nisbet's back heel was intended for Gordon, and here's Tilio into the action. No way around Kim for the teenager. Knew he had to get there, otherwise Simon was going to bury the header. Nice early contribution from Tilio. And Van der Sarg is past Tonjik. Tilio waits, the youngster, to finish it all off. He has an A-League goal just a minute into his senior career. Marco Tilio is a special talent, and he makes it 2-0 to Sydney FC in the 89th minute. Remember the name, Marco Tilio. And look how popular he is. Every one of his teammates came to celebrate this goal. Two graduates from the youth team combine. Harry Van der Sarg past Tonjik, who's hardly put a foot wrong all night. And then the awareness and the poise from Tilio to wrong foot the goalkeeper. It has been one of the treats this A-League season when the curtain raiser has involved Sydney FC and their youth team. And Marco Tilio just has an old head on young shoulders. And he's riding the headlines tonight. An A-League debut that was perhaps overdue. Adam Lafondra is thinking, gee, this kid's making it look easy. I've toiled hard for 87 minutes. On comes Tilio, and he's on the score sheet already. Clisby. Oh, can't quite get there. Van der Sarg with a very good contribution and cameo off the bench. 4 minutes being added on. Here's Tilio again. Maintaining his balance. Barged off it by Kim. Silvera. Here he goes again. Bahaja making his runs. Tilio finds the speedster, wants it back. Can he finish off a double here, Marco Tilio? He's pulled out. And left it for Van der Sar instead. He'll take the game. Oh no, what a finish! Harry Van der Sar. The kids are good. The kids are very good for Sydney FC. Tilio and then Van der Sar with their first A-League goals in a matter of a couple of minutes. And this all-conquering youth league side that has been tearing up that competition is now starting to break into the senior side of the A-League champions. Van der Sar flushed it past Birighitti. One of the goals of the season. Look how much room he had to beat the shot stopper. Corica had the best view in the house. And that celebration extended all the way up to the Sydney FC coach's box, right alongside our commentary position. They were banging the windows. Wow, hanging on for a long time, seemingly. They go bang, bang to make it a comprehensive victory. "15-year-old Mohamed Toure 1 week in the A-League. And now a couple of Sydney FC youngsters open their account. You never know who's going to grab the headlines. And Bahaja, he does push and go, and that's the most obvious yellow card of the night. "14th win of the season secured by Sydney FC with a late burst. And Steve Corica again working his bench to perfection, giving youngsters a chance, and haven't they delivered? Tilio with a goal and an assist in his first 5 minutes as an A-League footballer. Oh, good. Brave header around the blind side of Bahaja. Well, it's a night that will live long in the memory of Harry Van der Sar. To score a goal like that in the stoppage time. As Simon goes through, Bratton didn't want a bar of it initially, then he was fouled. And the final seconds are ticking away. Chris Beath just diffusing any potential late flare-up involving Matt Simon. Oh, decent skill that from Stensness. As the Championes chant rings out from the Sydney FC away bays. Is their consolation for the Mariners. Stunning stuff from the A-League champions. The late show seals another victory. They are 13 points clear at the top of the A-League ladder. And Marco Tilio with one of the great debut cameos. On the pitch for about 6 or 7 minutes. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist already. Harry Van der Sar with the first goal of his A-League career as well, with a special, stunning finish past Mark Birighitti. Looked for a long time like the 8th-minute goal from Milos Ninkovic was going to separate the two teams. But then along came the kids. And at full time in Gosford, the Mariners slumped to a 6th straight defeat and sit rooted to the bottom of the A-League ladder. Full time, Sydney FC 3, Central Coast 0. Let's hear from a kid who must be floating on air right now, Robbie Slater.
He certainly is. Hyundai A-League debut and a goal. Doesn't come much better than that.
No, I'm quite ecstatic. Obviously been working hard towards this. I had a stint in the Asian Champions League last year, but haven't actually come on in the A-League, and today was my chance, and I thought I took it, so I'm very happy.
And Tilio, NYL Grand Final, 2 goals. You get 1 tonight in the senior team. What's better?
I guess tonight, the boys saw in the celebration, were ecstatic with with the goal, and obviously with all their help, hard work and training and stuff. Finally I showed off tonight, so
Well, it's not bad. You get a goal and an assist. Now, when you came on, did you think it was more about just running the game out because the Mariners were on top?
That's Steve actually said to me because it's more my game to actually move the ball. So he goes, when you have a chance, dribble, go do what you can do. And that's what I did when I came on.
Mate, fantastic. Enjoy that one. Enjoy it with your family. Congratulations. Cheers. And here comes Harry, who got himself a goal as well. How does that feel, Harry?
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. Finally get my first goal in the A-League. It's a goal I've been striving for this year, so yeah, I'm pretty happy to get it.
And the way the game was going when you come on, there was a lot of work to be done because the Mariners seemed to have a good period, but you rode that, you got through that, and you came up trumps.
Yeah, Bimmy just said to me, bring a bit of energy because they're lacking a bit out there, so I just thought I'd try to do that, and just the goal's a bonus. Happy to get the win.
Well, talk us through the goal. So you get the ball. Is that what you were thinking when you grabbed it?
Well, Michael made a great run upfield, and he needed help because I could tell he was dying a bit. So I just said, I'm here, mate, and then there was really no one in front. I just saw a bit of space and just attacked it. And I just thought, why not?
So, Harry, look, young blokes like yourself, Tilio's come on and scored. It is about performing when you come on, and you must feel delighted that you've played your part in this victory.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy to play my part. Obviously, the team come first, so that's what you got to do.
Good on you, mate. Go and enjoy it, Harry. Cheers. Well done.
But what about that? What a performance in the end from the young guns in this side for Sydney FC, Mark Bosnich, because it was sitting at 1-0 for a very long time. So long it seemed that the Mariners may indeed find an equaliser. But no, these two young players that came on, they got an opportunity and they seized it with both hands.
That they did, Tara. And look, when I say this, I want people to hold back before they go, what are you on about, okay? For me, it was a fantastic performance. Now, not by Sydney standards in terms of playing and all that, in terms of the fact that they were under the cosh for the majority of the game. They'd come back from a long journey, an arduous journey to Japan. From a mental perspective, they were fine, or else they wouldn't have held out like they did. But from